Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Like It or Leave It. It is March 29th. Hope y'all are having a great day out there. I know I'm having a good day. I'm recording this episode. It's not 3 a.m. I got a break in my schedule a little bit, so I'm recording this one. It's currently 9:00 something, 9:11. Ooh, that felt bad to say. So I was talking to someone the other day, and he was watching the podcast, and he was like, yeah, it's cool. You're getting your point across. You act like you know what you're talking about, but it's not you. You can talk like that, and you talk like that at times, but that's not all of you. And she's right. There's a part of me that I don't bring into this because I want it to be a certain level of professionalism. I want it to be a certain level of traditional sports radio. I've been watching a bunch of guys who do this and just kind of taking different styles, and I've realized that's not the way I want to do this. So, well, I will continue with some of the key points because, I do believe in the not overhyping guys. I do believe in everything that I've said, but the way I've said it is not 100% me. I am a very different person. I am a very diverse person, and the way I talk and the way I animate and the way that I act things out is very diverse, and I'm going to stick with that. So the format of the show will be switching up. Like I said, still have probably three. I'm going to try sometimes for 4 episodes. I might even, let me know down in the comment section. I might do blog type videos. So when something happens, but I'm not going to do a podcast that day, I might just get on with my phone or get on the mic really quick and make a quick 3-4 minute video. Let me know if that's something you guys like to see. Once again, please subscribe, comment, go to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, SoundCloud. Literally all word of mouth helps you guys. I got a cat, so if you hear the cat in the background, I apologize. All right, so let's start with something that I found kind of interesting. So these last couple years, and really my generation being one of those lovely millennials, esports has taken off. Madden now has a borderline professional league where you go, and if you're good enough at Madden, you go and play these guys, you win money. 2K's got one similar to that. There's a bunch of computer games that have professional sports leagues now, esports. It's a great thing. I think it's a very super progressive thing. I like it. I've never been one of these people that are like, oh, you've got to, unless you're out in the mine for 11 hours a day hitting someone with a hammer, it's not hard work. No, fuck that. Hard work, also might be swearing a little bit more than I normally do. Hard work is hard work. It's putting time in. It's putting effort in. It's not just, hey, look, I got a hammer and some nails and I'm hitting this thing. Oh, multiple ways to classify hard work. Not my point. People used to say, what if, sorry, let me correct that statement. I'm going to cross this. It's going to be a really weird segment. It's politics, esports, and the NBA and NFL. People always used to say, what if you ran the company, or you ran the government like a company? Or you ran the country like a company. And there's always people that's like, oh, well, no, that's not how you're supposed to do it. These are people's lives, You're not supposed to do it. A company and a country are two totally separate things. All right? Then it kind of started to trickle down into a less life-altering way. What if you ran your NFL or NBA team like 2K or Madden? Let me say, I love 2K. I love Madden. 2K I'm not good at, but I'll talk trash. Madden, I'll beat you, hands down, not even a question. I'll smash people on Madden. But point I'm trying to get at is, I think that chatter actually got enough attention that I think teams are starting to do it. If you look at a lot of the teams right now, right, think of who's doing really well. And then compare that to anyone who's ever played with a My Player or played a franchise on 2K or Madden. Let's look at the MVP conversation. What makes James Harden and Russell Westbrook different from my players? Think about it. If you've ever made a point guard or a 2 guard as a My Player, what are you trying to do? Trying to get 30, 40 points a night? Trying to get, you sit there and pad your stats, get your 7, 8 rebounds, get your 9, 10 assists. If that's what you do, some people don't pass the ball at all. They only get 2 or 3 assists. But you sit there, you pad your numbers, get your 30-plus points, and you've almost got to scale down to playing regular basketball when you're playing with your my player. Like, my dude, I had a guy when I first started playing in like 2K11 was my first like my player. I finished. I had Chris Paul on the Clippers before he even went there, but I named him Cliff Paul. And my dude was averaging 33 points, 14 assists, 9 rebounds. That's outside of a couple points off. What makes James Harden any different? My dude shot a lot of threes. My dude would pass the ball to get other threes. I hated getting 2-pointers. And then if I was already in the paint, I threw up a lob. I was throwing lobs to Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan before it was cool. James Harden throws lobs up to Clint Capella. Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is literally a my player. 6'3", 200-some pounds. He's fast, can kind of shoot, and he does whatever he wants with the damn ball. What's so different about that? You see teams going for it more in the NFL. You see teams going for it more on fourth down. What do you do in Madden? I don't know the last time a dude punted on fourth down unless it was some crazy shit like 4th and 27. And even then, motherfuckers still go for it. I'm not trying to put some crazy theory out in the world. I'm not trying to put some, this is all coaches are just they're watching video games and they're playing like that. But think of the age of head coaches. I don't have the numbers in front of me anymore, but the age of head coaches and the age of assistant coaches especially has gone down the last 20 years. You know what people do as they get younger? They're a part of a younger generation. They are more relatable to the players. A lot of these players play Madden. Probably a lot of these coaches play Madden. I'm just saying, guys, not trying to sound crazy, but esports is influencing professional sports way more than what I ever would thought possible. I'm not willing to say if it's a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying watch out. Gosh, I'm going to love this. It's so much nicer when you don't have to do this at 3 in the morning, by the way. Let's see what we got for scores here. Let me get my things about to refresh right here. Once I get this scoreboard up. This is professional. For Tuesday the 28th. Hope everyone's having a great day. It's Wednesday, but these are the scores from last night. Bucks beat the Hornets 118-108. Timberwolves beat the Pacers 115-114. Pacers most disappointing team in the NBA. 76ers beat the Nets 106-101. Wow. That was a supreme game. Battle of the worst two teams in the league. Hawks beat the Suns 95-91. The Heat beat the Pistons 97-96. Eric Spoelstra should not be coach of the year, but I'll get to that on Friday. But has turned that Heat team around. I will give him credit for that. The Cavaliers. I don't know what to say about them anymore. I feel like I am so sick and tired of talking about the Cavs, LeBron. Like, I've already made videos about why I don't think the Cavs will win, why I think people need to figure out, like, people have these such far-sighted views on LeBron. I watch one person and he just does nothing but rip him. I watch another person does nothing but praise him, and I'm like, that's just stupid to me. But the Cavaliers, can we stop acting like all of these teams can just turn it on when they want? It started for me back in like 2007 when the Giants won the Super Bowl and they got hot at the right time. And it feels like ever since then, all teams want to do is get hot at the right time. Oh, if you're playing well going to the playoffs, you're going to win a Super Bowl. You got a better chance to go to the Super Bowl than the team that was 14-2, 13-3 because they had to play great from week one. What? So you're telling me if I play great for a longer period of time, I'm suddenly going to do bad now because this guy just started playing great the last 3 or 4 games? That don't make no sense. When people talk about the Cavs, just like, oh, well, they don't really care about the regular season. They're going to turn it on for the postseason, and it's going to be fine. LeBron's the best player in the world. He'll play that way again. You see what he did to the Warriors? Yeah, I saw what he did to the Warriors. You know what he did to the Warriors? He played the greatest 4-game stretch, arguably in the history of the game. There's like 1 or 2 other moments that Magic, Mike, and then Wilt did that you could say are in there, but it's one of the top 2 or 3 performances ever, what he did in the finals last year. Hey, you want to know something that's great about that? That's the best he's ever played too. You know what people don't have 2 of? The best they've ever played? Michael Jordan, as great as he was, had a 10-game stretch where he put up triple doubles in 9 of those 10 games, averaged like 33, 34 points a game, went crazy. You know what he didn't do it for the rest of his career? Have another 10-game stretch like that. The Bulls had a 3-year stretch where they won 203 games. You know what they didn't do in another 3-year stretch? Win 203 games. You've only got one best of or best ever in your life. You don't have 2 of them. So to have this imaginary idea that LeBron's just going to play that well again is ridiculous. He put up 29.7 points, so basically 30 points, 9 assists, 11 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks, and then obviously the block on Iguodala that everyone's never going to stop talking about. Those are above his career numbers. Those are far above his playoff career numbers. That's the best stretch he's ever had. You don't have 2 bests. You can't just turn it on when you want. Does it happen where teams get hot at the right time and win? Yeah. You don't plan for that kind of thing. No one says, dude, I'm just going to suck for the first 10 weeks. After that, I'll start turning it on. You know, your basic employees might do that during their shift. They might be like, all right, I work 9 to 5 today. I got my lunch break at 12. Okay, my first couple hours, I'll take it kind of slow, you know, settle into the day. And then from 2 to 5 o'clock, I'll really get going. And if you've seen those people, you've seen that don't work. They end up always saying, wow, I didn't get as much done as I wanted. Of course you didn't. You took half the time off. The Cavs right now, taking half their time off. They play absolutely no defense. Don't have anyone who can play defense outside of LeBron, who I think he's the greatest aging player we've ever seen. Well, I think he's going to have a chance to join that list. Let me take that back. He's going to have a chance to join the greatest aging player ever, but he don't play defense like he used to. Kyrie Irving doesn't know how to spell defense. Kevin Love doesn't have the word D in his vocabulary. Have the letter D, I'm sorry. And who else is going to play defense on that team? Kyle Korver, Darren Williams, J.R. Smith. All right. George Karl been barking up that tree for about 12 years. Man. Let's do some preseason baseball. What we got? Preseason baseball. I'm just going to name off some league leaders. Bryce Harper leads everybody in spring training with 8 home runs. There's 3 guys tied with 19 RBIs. Stolen bases, David DeShields, if I'm saying that correctly, has 12 stolen bases for the Rangers. Giancarlo Stanton does what I still believe is the most terrifying thing in baseball, which is he hits line drive home runs. Think about that for a second. A line drive home run. It says on your baseball ticket, if you get hit with the ball, you can't sue the team. If I get hit with a line drive ball at 130 miles an hour, absolutely right, I can't sue the team. I'm fucking dead. That is a terrifying man. That is a large man. He is borderline a monster. Someone check his pee. Don't check his pee. I'm not trying to throw steroid allegations on him. I'm just making a joke. All right. What else we got to talk about here today? Like I said, you guys, this show is completely unscripted. I don't have a whole lot of notes. I got a couple things up here on my computer, but I have no notes written down. I have no like tabs that I'm going to. This is kind of all off the top of my head. This is just me. The Raiders moved to Los Angeles. If you know me, you heard me on a previous segment talk about it is painful to lose your team. I don't even live in Denver, and if Broncos moved from Denver, I might cry. I might just get down on the ground, break down, and cry. Like, to lose your team, especially from your city, is just heartbreaking, and I hope I never have to go through it. And I would have thought I'd never have to go through it. Because I'm like, Denver's one of the more iconic franchises. You know, like they're not moving the Cowboys out of Dallas. They're not moving the Patriots out of New England. They're not moving the Packers out of Green Bay. But they moved Oakland out of... Oh, they moved the Raiders out of Oakland. And I get what you're saying. Oh, but they've already been to LA once before. Yeah, they have. But anything Al Davis did, you can't count as part of the norm. The man's literally a walking abnormality, or was a walking abnormality, which I say that with the utmost respect, because Al Davis is I think he's one of the 4 or 5 greatest sports franchise owners ever. I love what he did. I love the fact he was aggressive. He stood by what he wanted to. He lived life his way. I love that shit. And the Raiders going to Vegas, well, I think it does fit the brand. You know, you kind of have like these outlaw guys in the city, in the Sin City. I think that's cool. But it just kind of makes me worried that if they can move Oakland, no team is safe from being moved. I exclude one team from them. I'm sorry, the Packers. They are owned by Green Bay. They can't be moved. So, this cat is hilarious right now. It's trying to find this light. The Packers are probably the only team. If a bigger city, like a global city, as much as I love Denver and I love the Broncos staying there, Denver's not a global city. Vegas is a global city. LA is a global city. New York is a global city. Atlanta's not. Texas isn't. Jacksonville's not. And don't even get me started about the Browns. Not that anybody wants the Browns anyway. If the Browns ever move, they're shipping them overseas. They're just like, we're done with this. So I have this segment not so much to be like talk so much about the Raiders going to Vegas. I get it. It's an owner's thing. It's all about, you know, they're the owners that wanted the move, and then John Ross who didn't, because the Dolphins were the only team that had great weather, no state tax, and now Vegas, the Raiders will join them. So John Ross just doesn't like competition. And LA didn't want the Raiders because they would automatically be more popular than the Rams or the Chargers, and that hurts their product. But if the Raiders can move, anyone can move. Last but not least, I said this wasn't going to be a super long podcast. Like I said, it's off the top of my head. It's unscripted, just having fun with it today. What is it? Man, see, I'm trying to even remember what I did. There we go. Sports writers. Sports writers piss me off sometimes. Shouldn't even say they piss me off. They're just people. People piss me off, but I shouldn't say specifically sports writers piss me off. Sports writers only piss me off because it's what they want to talk about, who they want to make bigger than what they are. And they have the same way bad media in real life influences like politics and stuff going around in your community. Sports writers do the same thing. If they want a guy to be great, they're going to be great. If they want a guy who's going to be bad, that guy will be bad. He'll be looked at negatively. And the guy right now that they're going to mess with, in my opinion, is, let me pull this up really quick for you guys. Just because I know I'm gonna mispronounce his name, so I want to make sure that I butcher it to the least of my abilities. It is South Carolina senior. Let's see here. Where is he? Roster. Sindarius Thornwell, if I'm saying that correctly. he's starting to show up on draft sites as a potential lottery pick, potential top 10 pick. I even saw one the other day where he was in the top 5 because of how well he's playing. He's a 6'5" guard, for those of you that don't know. He's having a great senior run in the NCAA tournament. But he's not a top 10 player. I'm sorry. If, barring physical changes, if you are not considered to be one of the best for your first 3 years or 4 years, playing great for 4 games does not elevate you up to top 10 status. Anthony Davis went to a top 5 and became the number 1 pick because he grew from 6'3" to 6'10". Okay, Thornwell goes to 6'10", 6'11" the next 6 months. You got a case for him to be a top 10 pick. But we always do. The sports writers always do this. They turn Jimmer Fredette into a lottery pick. They turned Steph Curry into a lottery pick. They turned, I can't remember his name, but the senior or the junior who played for Iowa State a couple years ago, who had a great NCAA tournament, knocked UConn out. I apologize, I can't think of his name at the moment. They turned him into a lottery pick. If they want you to be great, they'll say that you're great. And owners sit there and read headlines. Owners watch big sporting events. They watch March Madness. They read the headlines. And all they're hearing about is how this kid's doing great. Oh, he's amazing. Oh, he should be a top 10 pick. And owners are telling their GMs and scouts saying, hey, this is the guy I want. You know why there's owners and why there's GMs and scouts? Because the GMs and scouts watch every game. They sit there and they're in tune with who's doing well in college basketball, who's got the aesthetics that you want, who's got the physical outlook that you want, who's the good player overseas. Owners don't do that. They just write checks, go to a couple games, and act like they care. And that's fine. I'm not here to tell anyone how to run their team. They're billionaires. They've done pretty okay with their lives. They own this product. They can do whatever they want with that product. But sports writers need to stop turning guys into top 10, top 15 picks when they're really not. And, I feel kind of bad for the guys that get turned into it because look at Jimmer Fredette. Jimmer Fredette's going to look like as a bust as far as the NBA is concerned. But now he's over in China, which is where he probably should have been anyway, or at least a late first round, early second round pick coming off the bench for a team for a few years, then going to China. He's averaging like 30-some points over there. Sports writers, I get it. You got to talk about things. You got to talk about players. Got to talk about teams. But don't overhype these guys and blow them up into something they're not. We need to stop that. All right. Once again, like I said, unscripted. Just wanted to have some fun. Changing up a little bit of the style that I'm using, a little bit of the format. Will still be the 3 to 4 videos a week. I'm going to try to get 4 out this week because I do actually have a good amount more stuff I want to talk about tomorrow and Friday. But if not, I will for sure see you guys Friday. Friday will be a longer podcast, be closer to 40, 45 minutes. Once again, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, it's all on the picture here. Please like, subscribe, share, word of mouth, all that stuff. It really does help. Thank you guys.